Everybody, we're going to go ahead and get a little front and center here. Pick up where we left off here on the, what do you call it here? On the book here. And I moved some stuff around. My CD player was in the way, so I had to move that around. But anyway, so we're on page 54, and goes on to go like this here. It says, Holmes sat up in his chair with considerable excitement. I thought as much, he said. Well, sitting on the sofa here. Have you ever observed that his ears are pierced for earrings? Yes, sir. He told me that a gypsy had done it for him when he was a lad. I read this part. Oh, here we go. That's him. So, as a rule, said Mr. Holmes, the more bizarre a thing is, the less mysterious it proves to be. It is our commonplace, featureless crimes which are really puzzling. Just as the commonplace face is most difficult to identify. I must be prompt over this matter. It says here. What are you gonna do then? I asked. To smoke, he answered. To smoke, he answered. Excuse me. It is quite a three-pipe problem, and I beg that you won't speak to me for 50 minutes. He curled himself up in his chair, with his knees drawn up to his hawk-like nose. And there he sat with his eyes closed and his black clay pipe thrusting out like a bill of some strange bird. I had come to the conclusion that he had dropped asleep, and indeed was nodding myself. When he suddenly sprang out of his chair with a gesture of a man who has made up his mind and put his pipe down upon his mantelpiece. Quote, Sarasate plays at the St. James Hall this afternoon, he remarked. What do you think, Watson? Could your patients spare you for a few hours? I have nothing to do day to day. I have nothing to do today. My practice is never very absorbing. Then put on your hat and come. I'm going through the city first, and we have some lunch on the way. I observe that there is a good deal of German music on the program, which is rather more my taste than Italian or French. It is introspective. I want to introspect. Come along. We traveled by the underground as far as the Aldergate, and a short walk to the Saxe-Coburg Square. Saxe-Coburg Square. And it says the scene was a scene of the singular story which we had listened to in the morning. It was a poky little shabby genteel place with 4 lines of dingy storied brick houses looked out into a small railed-in enclosure where a lawn of weedy grass and a few clumps of faded laurel bushes made a hard fight against a smoke-laden and uncongenial atmosphere. These gift balls and a brown board with Chavez Wilson in white letters. These gift balls. Upon a corner of the house, announced the place where the red-headed client carried his on his business. Sherlock Holmes stopped in front of his head on one side and looked it over all over, with his eyes shining brightly between puckered lids. Then he walked slowly up the street and down and then down again to the corner, still looking keenly at houses. Finally, he returned to the pawnbroker's, and having thumped vigorously upon the pavement with his stick 2 or 3 times, he went up to the door and knocked. It was instantly opened by a bright-looking, clean-shaven young fellow who asked him to step in. "Thank you," said Mr. Holmes. "I only wished I asked you how you would go from here to the Strand." "Third right, fourth left," answered the assistant promptly, closing the door. "Smart fellow, that," observed Holmes, as we walked away. "He is, in my judgment, the 4th smartest man in London. And for daring, I am not sure that he has not a claim to be third. I have known something of him before." "Evidently," said I, Mr. Wilson's assistant counts for a good deal in the mystery of the Red-Headed League. I am sure that you inquired your way merely in order that you might see him." Quote, "Not him? What then?" "The knees of his trousers." Quote, "And then what did you see?" "What I expected to see." Quotations. And it says here, excuse me. Why did you beat the pavement? Question mark. "My dear doctor, this is the time of observation, for not talk. We are spies in the enemy's country. We know something of the Saxe-Coburg Square. Let us now explore the parts of which lie behind it." I'm going to stop there on page 56. That down like that.